Hey Lisa, how are you? So I just am going to read a little bit to you today to show you why I am where I'm at because it's just so important to me. I'm going to actually be reading to you from the book that I just live off of now, which is the Project 369, The Key to the Universe. This is what started my journey of awakening, and I'm nowhere near where I want to be, but I'm getting there. So I wanted to read and see how these words resonated with you guys. So I'm just going to start. So this is the book, Project 369, The Key to the Universe, Evolved Consciousness. IAM. And let me know in the comments if you've read it, because you could probably read this, and I could read this a million times. Anyways, so I'm going to read from the beginning and just a little bit of it, and it's called, this chapter is called, Who Are You? And for someone with borderline before, this was very difficult for me to answer that question, who are you? If you saw my live on borderline, you'll know why I'm laughing about that. So, who are you, really? And I don't mean your name. I mean your beliefs about yourself. Are you successful, positive, optimistic, or are you pessimistic, stressed, afraid? Are you trying to change? Are you chasing fulfillment somewhere outside of yourself? However you're called to answer, your answer is right because you believe it. So whatever your answer is, it's right because you believe it. Hi, Michael. Because you believe it. And your physical reality is but a reflection of those beliefs. So your internal beliefs about yourself are true because you believe them, and your physical outer reality reflects those beliefs. Now for the next question, are you a believer or are you your beliefs? And when they're talking about your beliefs, they're talking about your conditioning from the time you were born till now. All the things that you've taught, you've learned, you've experienced, those are your beliefs because they're what have happened to you, right? So, the believer's name is I am. That is not only your true name, but it's also your true self. So that's why you hear me saying I am a lot. The believer has the power to believe anything they want. The believer has the power to change their beliefs and thus change everything in their world. You have the power to believe anything you want and thus change everything in your world. The believer has the power to feel as though they are the person they desire to be and accept it. The believer has the power to create their reality in the way they desire and to play the game of life according to their own rules. So this is basically saying you aren't what you were conditioned to believe. None of us are. We are what we choose to believe from our own creations, from our own imagination. That which you say I am to, on the other hand, are your beliefs. The one who is tied up in their beliefs does not have the same power that the believer does. So the one that is stuck in what they were raised in, what they were taught, what they were surrounded by, their environment, their church, their religion, their beliefs. You are what you eat kind of a thing, you know. The one who is tied, okay, so they only have the power to create beliefs that are in accordance with their current beliefs. So you can't really expand out because you truly believe that you just are what you are. And for me, I was just borderline. I was just confused. I had no way of changing anything. My life just sucked. Everything was horrible. And that's so far from the truth. They don't have much of an option to change their beliefs because they are who they believe they are. Their conditioned beliefs. They are so tied up in their current position and their current physical reality that they cannot create a new one. Since they think the same thoughts on repeat, they don't really have the power to think of new thoughts. And that is so true to me. My whole life I just thought I'm bad. I'm a bad person. I can't make it. I can't be successful. You know, I'm all these things that I believed. And I couldn't change it. They cannot be the person they desire to be because their beliefs keep them stuck. Their beliefs don't let them become it. They are stuck in the identification of a self that is not their true self. We were only our true selves when we were an infant. I believe it says up to like 5 years old or 7 years old. And then all of the conditioning started, the schooling, the parenting, the churches, you know, whatever it may be. Those are who you became. And that is what you believe you are today. Until you don't. You see, there is an I am that is unconditioned, and it creates all the conditions thereof. Again, that I am is the believer, and the believer is your true identity. Meaning the creations that you imagine, that is your true identity, not what you are conditioned to believe. One can say, I am happy, while another can say, I am sad. One can say, I am confident, while another can say, I am afraid. All of these are but conditions placed upon the one unconditioned consciousness, and that one unconditioned consciousness is God. The unconditioned consciousness is awareness and imagination. It is here that you find the believer, and it is the believer who is the only God through which all things are made. Sometimes the wording of this is a little difficult, but try. If you have any questions, let me know. Many say thoughts are bad. Your thoughts are not bad. There is no real separation between your awareness and your thoughts. Your awareness and your thoughts. There's no separation. Your wonderful imagination is as much a part of you as your awareness. And although your imagination can cause suffering and lock you up in a cell of your own beliefs, which I've lived there for many, many years, in a cell of my own beliefs, it is your imagination that can free you from that cell of your own beliefs. Both are mental and both are mind. Thinking and imagining are the spiritual acts of creation. Thinking and imagining are the spiritual acts of creation. And without thought, there is no creation. So if you're just going along, believing all the conditioned beliefs, conditioned things in your life, you cannot create because you just are what you are. You are what your parents told you. You are what your church taught you. You are what your school taught you. You are what your friends told you. You are what your abuser told you. You are all of those things until you're not. Until you're fucking not. And I'm being intense because it is so important to me. Because this changed everything for me. I am no longer my abuser's words. I am no longer my church beliefs. And it's not my church, the church I grew up in. I am not that. I am now what I have created myself to be. I now believe my own creation instead of the world around me and my environment's creation. You have the power to change that. Is that easy to understand? You have the power to change what you are conditioned to be your whole life to be what you want to be now. You are the creation and the creator. You are the creation and the creator. The creation is your awareness. So you have to be aware that you are conditioned your whole life to be this person that you are right now. You're aware of that, right? Like you're aware that everything that you are, everything that you believe, everything that you do is conditioned. From moms to dads to government to church to all the things. That's what you are. Until you take over and take control and begin to create from within your soul and start believing that creation. Once you start believing what you've imagined and created, that is who you become. This is one of the main books that helped me conquer my borderline, because I created a new person. I created a new environment. I created a new belief. Since both are one, both work simultaneously. The creation cannot be without the creator, and the creator cannot be without the creation. In this lifetime, there have been many that have split the two apart, and there are also many that don't realize that we use our imagination and our awareness as much as we actually do. However hard one tries, one cannot split the two apart, for to split the two is to split consciousness. The creation cannot be without the creator, and the creator cannot be without the creation. If you try to split those, you're trying to split consciousness. So we have a creator, God. He created us from him to have the ability to create from within for ourselves. And some of this has Bible verses in it, and I know a lot of people don't like that. I was a little bit turned off by it, but it's explaining the Bible in the way it was meant to be heard and read, instead of the literal way that the Catholic Church put it out there to be. So, all things were made by him, and without him was not anything made that was made. John 1:3. Here you reveal yourself the truth of God. As you can see, all things were made by the Creator, and without him there was not anything made that was made. The true meaning behind this scripture states that all things were made by imagination. And without imagination, there was not anything made that was made. Your imagination, of course, includes your awareness, for both are one. Your awareness and your imagination are the same thing. They are both one. There comes a point to where separation arises, and as Much as the outer world tries to separate us, I don't think the outer world can. True separation is created by believing that we are only our beliefs, our conditioned beliefs from the world we live in. True separation is created by believing we are only our beliefs, rather than believing that we are the believer. Belief is the only reason there is war, hatred, division, and separation. That's a pretty profound statement. Belief is the only reason there is war, hatred, division, and separation. Because of our conditioned beliefs, the need for power, money, and all the things that we have been conditioned to want and desire. Right? Okay, Michael. See you in a minute. We get so attached and caught up with our own beliefs that we create a permanent identity. And most of that time, our identity has been programmed from the outer world. So that's what I mean by the conditioned beliefs. We're programmed from the time we're born till the time we decide to wake up and change that programming and that conditioning. And because this is so, you lose the ultimate power of being the believer of your own beliefs. Many of us are in groups, and these groups contain beliefs that we must abide by, and I wrote in parentheses church for me. We must abide by the rules of the church that we go to, right? We must do these things to make it to the kingdom of heaven. We must do these things, da-da-da-da-da-da. The outer world does this by putting you into groups by race, gender, health, politics, and so forth. If there is another group with different belief, it creates discord and hatred. If we think that someone else is wrong, we hate them for their beliefs. If we think our beliefs are the only ones that are right, we close the door to love and understanding. Now, separation doesn't end by running away from our beliefs. Separation ends when you realize that there are only beliefs. There are only beliefs. Separation ends when you stop identifying with beliefs that cause discord and separation and start identifying with being the believer. So once we let go of all of our conditioned bullshit, the hate, the separation, all the things that I just read, we don't have a reason to hate and have war and all the things. Because we don't believe in the one thing we believe is absolute truth, right? And then that other person doesn't believe in the other thing they were conditioned to believe is absolute truth. So there's no fight. There's no conflict. But there is so much conflict in this world because of our beliefs and because of who we believe we are, which is what we were taught, what we grew up around, all the conditioning. The believer is God, and separation ends when you realize that there is only God, and there is nothing more or less. Separation ends when you realize that God is Christ and Christ is in you. So don't go away if the word Christ freaks you out, because it explains it in the right way. I tell you now that I have found Christ, and I assure you that he is not a man that will fall from the sky and save us all. I have found him to be the very essence of my being. I have found Christ to be the light, the I am within me. The I am within me is the same I am within you. Reflection of each other. Part of God. That I am with me is the same I am within you. I have found Christ because I see Christ in everyone. which is that reflection. And I have found that Christ is one. And that I am within me cannot be separated nor divided from the I am within you. So there's no conflict. I have found Christ because I see, that I am within me cannot be separated or divided. Okay, I read that, sorry. That I am is the love and unity of it all, and there is nothing without it. Past our beliefs lies our true self, which is true love. So past our conditioned beliefs from our whole life, lived lives, is unconditional love. True love. True love accepts all of us for who we are. This true love is within all of us. It's within everyone. This true love accepts all of us for who we are. This true love is within everyone. You just have to see past one's beliefs. Past one's beliefs. Conditioned beliefs. Past our beliefs. I'm sorry, there's so many same words in here that I'm getting mixed up. This true love is within everyone, and you just have to see past one's beliefs. The way you do this is to love your enemy. For only then will you realize that your enemy is also I am. We are all the same. We have all just been conditioned in different ways, which causes hate and conflict and all those things. When we realize we're all the same, we're all made the same from the same entity, and we're just looking at different perspectives of our own self, which is God, there's nothing to fight about. There's only experiences. Does that make sense so far? I know this book, I've read it several times. True love is not fighting evil with hate, but fighting evil with love. True love is realizing that harming another is the act of self-harm. If you're hurting another person, you're hurting yourself. If they're hurting you, they're hurting themselves too. We are just a different projection, a different ray of light from the sun. We're all the same, from the same entity, with different points of views, different conditioned beliefs that we're now in this awakening trying to uncondition, to become our own creators, which we were designed to be, to go back and join the matrix. True love is realizing that all is God, and hurting another is hurting God, because we are all a part of God. And I'm not talking God, Christian God, or anything. I'm talking the one God of all the religions, of all the everything, the one creator who took parts of him, sent us out here to experience the world that was created. So we have that power in us to create worlds and experiences and all of the things. We're the same entity as him, and we're the same entity as each other. Does that make sense? This is the first time in my life that I found a book that I was like, this is it. This is the answer. I was raised Christian, and it did not ever resonate with me. Not ever. I cried at night as a child so much, thinking my dad was going to hell, to burn in hell, because he wasn't a Christian like my mom. I mean, that's some childhood trauma. I was terrified. And I would picture these flames and my dad burning for eternity, screaming in agony. That's what I was conditioned to believe. And I think many of us are. And I'm not saying the Bible is a bad book or wrong. I'm saying we have read it wrong. It has been translated wrong. It has also been purposefully translated wrong. You know, who wants us to have the power that we have? Who wouldn't want us to have this power? The Pope? The government? Because if we knew what we had inside of us, which is part of God, meaning we have the powers He does to create, to believe, to manifest, then we don't need to go and confess our sins. We don't need to go give the church money. We don't need to have a government ruling over us, keeping us working hard and not living our lives, working to earn barely anything, living miserable lives. Those are the people who hid these books and secrets and powers from us. We have been living in the dark for so long because we didn't know. But now that we know, it's our job to act on this. You know, this is going to be the great awakening that causes the great fall, which in history is just an absolute. Like I was really trying hard to say on my last one, I think I did yesterday. I know it was very scattered, but that is the answer, you guys. That is what Jesus stood for, Christ stood for, and the Spirit, the Trinity. He was a part of God coming down to do His own work, His own creation, being His own believer. And that's what we are. We have that in us. That is who we are. That is what we are made from. We have all of that within us. That's how people can manifest. That's how people can, you know, the people who meditate for life, that's how they have these healing powers and these, you know, ability to be channels to other channels to spirits and other things. You know, we have all this within us. But until we understand that we are the creator and the believer, not just the lowly humans under the Christian and Catholic faith power and the government power, it's just going to it's war, hatred, all the things, conflict. But when we're creating our own love and our own self and our own worlds and our own identities, getting rid of our conditioned beliefs and coming up with our own unconditioned beliefs, all that stops. And I believe we're going to end up having a war because there are so many people awakening right now. I see it in commercials even, you know, the fear. Like they're changing their commercials on TV to try to manipulate and fit what us people who are awakening or in the process of it, like me, to try to manipulate us into feeling like we're not falling for the confusion anymore. Like I see the change in things around us. Everything's changing because people in power are seeing that we're realizing our power. Does that make sense? I hope it does. They don't want us to know, you know, all these old ancient tablets and things out there, you know, that they put away and hide in museums. It's because they have the key to the universe. And if we have that key, then the government isn't needed, the churches isn't needed, the Pope isn't needed. All of the people who have all of the power and the money, they're not needed. And they won't have us as low-life citizens working day to night, not spending time with our families, not living, not enjoying life, not experiencing nature, not doing everything we were meant to do here. Right? Thank you for sharing. Where was I at? Okay. When Christ said, I and my Father are one, John 10:30, the Jews stoned him because he was a man that made himself one with God. And it was blasphemy. Christ said later on, I go unto the Father, for my Father is greater than I, John 14:28. If Christ and his Father are one, how can his Father be greater than him? Isn't this contradicting the fact that he and his Father are one? To interpret this and the whole Bible properly, you must realize who your Father is. You are told in John 10:30 that you and your Father are one. And I tell you now that he is the I am within you. That this I am is past your beliefs. The Father is the oneness of it all, and Christ was the personification of this oneness, just like you. So Christ was an example of what we are. What did Christ do? He healed. He hung out with the prostitutes and loved unconditionally, right? He created that in a world back then of war and hatred and judgment and all of that. He created this beautiful openness and unconditional love because he was a part of God, which as we are, and we can also do. This, okay, the Father is the oneness of it all, and Christ was, okay, sorry. This verse is telling you that your Father, the believer, is greater than your beliefs. But your Father, the believer, will forever remain one with your beliefs. For you are both the believer and the beliefs, and both will always remain one. So Christ was here to show us what we are. He was here to show us that God breaking off a part of himself, making Christ his son, that's what we all are. We're children of God, it says it everywhere. God is our Father. Well, really, we're one in the same. We're just awakening to take our power back, that God, that we are, that I am in us is God. And what does God have? The ultimate power, right? We have that power. But people in this world don't want us to know that. But so many people know that now. So many people know the truth. So many people are understanding this now and awakening, which is where we're headed. Let us realize and accept our identity as the creation and the creator. God created us as him, as one, which means we are also the creator, right? So we can also create, right? And we can believe it. And then once we believe that creation that we imagine, so it becomes, which we now call manifesting. And I know a lot of you out there know manifesting and understand that. So this is the whole back story to how and why we have these abilities to manifest, to create, to heal, to speak without language, have conversations with each other without our mouths, like, because we are I am. Does that make sense? Let us create from a place of love and unity rather than a place of division and separation. A place of faith and harmony rather than a place of fear and dissonance. Let us create as the believer rather than our old beliefs, rather than our old interpretation of the Bible, the literal interpretation, the interpretation of the Bible that the people in power wanted us to have, to keep us down, to keep us where we're at. So they had all the powers and all the answers and all the secrets. Well, we have them now. We now know. And that scares them because we don't fucking need them. Even though they are us. And I know that's just, there's so many twists and turns. But every one of us, good, bad, negative, positive, whatever we are, power hungry, humble, whatever we are, it's just a different experience of God. And we're all going to end up in the same place, which is back to being God. We're not looking to go hang out with Him in heaven. We're looking to create and believe and manifest and heal and nurture and be a part of nature and all the things so many times until we become one again. Truly one. We are the matrix. We are the universe. We are I am. Does that make sense, you guys? It took me a minute, maybe it's easier for you to understand, but I read this a lot to get it in there, because I have been able to manifest and I have been able to create, and it's because I am. I am a soul. I'm not a human. I'm a soul. And this is my body right now, my vessel. I hope this makes sense. Thank you. Thank you, Lemonade. Now I'll ask you again. Who are you? Do you use God's name, I am, in vain? Do you realize that you're the creator of it all? All of it? You are, I am, we all are. We're all the same thing. We're all made out of the same thing. We're all made from the same thing. And we all have the same abilities. Some stronger than others. Some have different, are stronger in different abilities. But we all have everything that God has, which is the entity that created this universe. We have our own universe that we're the God of, and we're cells in a much bigger entity. And let us realize and accept our identity as the creation and the creator. Let us create from the place of love and unity rather than a place of division and separation. I know I already read that, but it's important. Do you realize that you are the creator of it all? You are the creation of the Creator, brought to this world to create your reality through the realization that you are both the creation and the Creator. You are the creation of the Creator, brought into this world to create your reality through the realization that you are both the creation and the creator. You are created in the image and the likeness of God to create in the image and the likeness of God. We are all one thing. We are all I am. And we can change everything in our lives. We can change everything. That's where I'm at, Lemonade. And it's difficult. Like it's almost like grieving in a way. To me. It feels like almost like grieving because for 45 years now, I've been my beliefs. And now I'm shedding those, and I'm almost grieving for what I believed I was my whole life, which I hated and despised, but it's what I was, and it's what I was made to believe. So it's like you have to detach from that, and you have to separate the emotion from that. We are energy. Oh, you guys are on board. I am so happy. You're right. You're both right. You're detached from this life, no real interest in it, because it's not what it is. This is someone else's creation that we're living under. The government, the power, the Pope, all those. We're living under that creation. And we don't have to. We can create our own. And we are energy. We are pure energy. Nice. Nice. We are pure. Everything in this world, all the matter, the molecules, everything, it's all energy. We're no different. We're all made out of the same stuff. We're created in the image of our Creator to create as the Creator. Not to be lowly little humans, worshiping and working, and we're here to be God and create as He created us. Your state of consciousness can be likened to your current belief system. Your state is your beliefs about yourself and your world. So your state of consciousness is your beliefs about yourself and the world. So the more you let go of your conditioned beliefs and become your own believer and your own creator, your manifestations will start to come into your outer world. And your consciousness will become higher and higher. And in history, every time consciousness became higher and higher, the Roman Empire, the Atlanteans, Egypt, they rose in consciousness, and then they fell. And we're at a time of rising in consciousness. I'm not sure where we're at, but we are rising rapidly in consciousness. If you think back on your life, my life, I lived in complete and utter unconscious living. No clue. And now I'm conscious of what I am, and I can make conscious choices. I can make conscious creations and conscious manifestations because I am. I am you. You are me. You are. I am. I am. God didn't create a table. He created the tree, and we created a table from that. Yes, that is in a very literal sense. Yes, we create things like tables, but we can also create things like beliefs, and we can create whatever life we want to live. So we create things out of things, yes, absolutely. But we can also, like God, because we are, I am, create money, health, homes, anything that we believe that we are, we create that we are, will manifest outwardly. So it starts inside, believing that we are I am. And that's not blasphemy. It's the true meaning of the words in the ancient texts. That's why all these places like the pyramids and all these spiritual sites, people get hurt going into some of these places because there's literal spirits guarding them because they are so important. Because when consciousness rose and they were able to make those pyramids back then, they were so powerful. The portals were so powerful. And then the empire fell and they all turned into ruins. And we have people in the pyramids right now reactivating these portals. Like our consciousness is rising. And I probably am not even halfway there. Like I'm just learning. But I've learned and experienced enough to know that it is fucking true. It is so true. It's who we are. We're not slaves to the government. We're I am. And we can create everything. And yes, a general description. Yes, that's a very good way, like a simplified way to put it, because this is hard. For me, it was hard to understand. Yes, working to live. And we are all miserable doing that, right? It's not what we're meant to do. It's not. We're meant to live in harmony and experience. We can't experience life. We can't even experience our own creations because we're always working and always stressed and always sick and always worried. That's not what we were here for. Lemonade, do you mean like because you'll die? Like because we'll all die? Is that what you're meaning? Like we can't manifest? Sunny, you are spot on. Yeah, I'm so glad you guys like feel this because this is vulnerable to me. I have a lot of judgy people around me and they don't understand this. And so it just brings me so much joy to know, I was looking the other day at like wondering how many people are on board, how many people are woke enough to understand that this is all bullshit. Like, do you get disgusted when you see commercials on TV now that are like trying so hard to get you to buy the latest this, the latest that, the trendiest this, the trendiest that? Like, it disgusts me. But I used to want to go get all those things. And I still, I'll take my daughter shopping for school clothes and stuff and grab something to wear, whatever. Because we're human. We're in a human form. So we still have human tendencies. But once we understand all this, everything's going to change. We're going to rise up so high that we're going to fall. And then it's going to start all over again. And eventually, we'll join the Matrix. We won't join the Matrix. We will become part of the Matrix again. We will rejoin and become the Matrix again. So, your state of consciousness... Your state of consciousness can be likened to your current belief system. Your state is your beliefs about yourself and your world. Your manifestations in your outer world are but reflections of the state you are in. Both your manifestations and the state you operate in work hand in hand. As we know, you attract what you are, and you cannot attract what you are not. You absolutely cannot attract what you are not. So if I'm depressed and sorrowful and just miserable, I can't attract positive things. It's not possible. So if I go inside and decide I love me, I love myself, I am going to be happy, and I am going to enjoy the moment, and I am going to be, just different than living under the misery of, like you were saying, someone working and 9 to 5 and miserable. You can decide. I know it's hard. It's hard. We get stuck because money is a real thing, and we have to have it to a degree. I'm at the point in my awakening to where I feel and believe that money is coming no matter what. Or not necessarily money, but needs. Everything we need. There's a difference between needs and wants, right? I work from home. I'm an artist. I paint and I sell paintings. But I also do that as part of my creating. That's my expression, my outer expression. I'm kind of going off on a tangent. I create my own reality by taking my idea in my mind and bringing it into existence. That's exactly what we have to do. And then we realize that we are I am. Because only I am can create. Only God can create. So how the hell are we creating and manifesting? Because we are I am. Plain and simple. He sent us out here as part of Him to experience the world through our own experiences and our own points of view. Can you imagine the knowledge of experiencing every single human's point of view? That's why they say look into each other's eyes. Get that knowledge. Like, you don't even have to speak. You know how much information you get from looking in someone's eyes? That's why we look away every so often. Even if we think we're staring straight into their eyes for a long time, we take breaks because there's so much information being passed between our eyes, because our eyes are the window to our soul, and our soul is what we are. I am. Can you imagine having everyone's point of view? Like, that would bring us back to being with God. God, part of God. God. I say it wrong because I was raised Christian. Not with Him, but be Him. We just go back home. Home. Which is God. We are. That's who we are. He just sent us out to check everything out. To check out His creation. And that's why it's not fair sometimes, Some people have it so bad, in other countries and even in our own country. And I think about that a lot. It's not fair. But it's an experience, and it's a point of view. And there's more, It's not that just one. I don't know how many lifetimes I've lived. I feel like 1,000,000. But this lifetime, I'm waking up for whatever reason. Everyone in the world is operating in a different state of consciousness, belief system. The beliefs through which one views their world are the same beliefs that create their world, just as you just said. The difference is that some people are aware of this and some people are not. And that's why this is vulnerable. Because those that are not aware are usually so closed-minded, so black and white, so narrow-minded that they're judgmental. And the human side of me doesn't like feeling judged. I actually don't give a shit anymore. I really don't. The talk that I did yesterday was so scattered and so vulnerable, but it was so imprinted on my heart to do. And I'm learning more and more every day, and I'll be able to get that message out better and better. But I just was so, I was told, I heard during meditating, you need to share this. And it was messy, but I did my best, and I'm so grateful that I'm aware. I'm aware and conscious. And I think about the other parts of my life, and I'm just running around confused. And now I'm like, I can create my own world. You know, and so I'm grateful. I'm grateful for that. So as of now, there is an infinite potential for sourcing wisdom and knowledge. Never before have you had such limitless access to information from all the world that you can use to reevaluate and expand your beliefs. We have the internet. We have all the knowledge at our fingertips right now. You know, we don't have to get on a horse or whatever and ride, 100 miles to give someone some information. We have all the information at our fingertips. Our technology is rising so fast. Our awakening is rising so fast. Our consciousness is coming together. Everyone who is conscious, it's becoming part of this collective consciousness, and it's happening quickly. And I'm watching people just wake up, and it's incredible. It's really incredible. And then once they're awake and they realize that they can do these things and they do have these gifts and abilities, magic is happening. I have manifested throughout this book. It gives you places to write and manifest for the day or your intentions. And I'm always grateful to learn from others by listening. See, that's my favorite thing to do, Sunny. Like learning. And that's, I think, how I got to this place, because I live to learn and grow. I don't want to stay where I'm at ever. Like, I want to know more and more and more. I hunger to learn more and to understand more. And yes, with a very open, yes, exactly. We are so on the same page. It's super nice to meet you, Sunny. My name's Missy. So yeah, so we have all this knowledge at our fingertips, and we need to use it the right way. It's the technology added with the conscious arising right now. Here we go. Like, here we go. We're awake, you guys. We're aware. And we weren't, I remember, like, even, I keep bringing up commercials and stuff because those impacted me. Like around Christmas time, all the toys on TV and stuff. And it's like, that was my world. And we didn't have a lot of money. I didn't get all those things, but I wanted them so bad because that's all that was in front of my face. That's so unconscious. That's so just robotic. Oh, this is what we are. Oh, this is what we're supposed to want. Da-da-da-da-da-da. No. It's not. It's not. We have so much power, you guys. And I don't mean power in the way of power hungry, greedy. I mean to change the world and to make our lives better and to make our children's lives better and to make the world a better place. We're alive. Amazing time. I don't know if the fall will come in my time or not, or if we'll just continue to rise, I mean, if we're believing in reincarnation, which I am, it'll come in my time, just I might not be Missy. You know what I mean? You're back, Michael. I hadn't seen you for a minute. Project 369 can be a trusted tool of yours, and I'm telling you, please buy this book. The people who are following me or who are on this level with me, buy this book. It is unreal. And there's more of them, but I've got 2 more, and this is the only one I've actually... Okay. All right, Michael. Well, that makes me feel good. I don't want to be an echo chamber and be... Right. Right. And you know, I've thought about things like that, you know, like right now I'm sharing with you my beliefs, but it's something that I learned from someone else's knowledge. And 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 that's okay, because I wouldn't have this knowledge if someone else didn't have this knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know that this wouldn't have just come to me. You know, my self-love and my self-healing had to come to me, but learning all this stuff, I was way too conditioned to even know that this was a thing. You know, my brain wasn't, I was just way too conditioned. I know, Sunny, it's so hard. It's so hard. Like, once you understand it, getting it out is so difficult because it's not really of this world. It's not anything that we've ever experienced in our lifetimes. You know, we're all in this one generational time period, and so it's new. It's like new language almost. And so it is, and it's also vulnerable. But I meditate so much, you know, and I've got to the point to where I can meditate really well, to where everything's just silent, and I start getting messages. What I'm assuming and understanding is my spirit guide. And all I keep hearing is share, 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 share. And I think it's because that allows us, it allows you guys to see my point of view. And when you share, it allows me to see your point of view, which raises our consciousness. So whether we're on here talking about what we did today, or this, or our garden that we're growing outside, you know, whatever it is, it's still a point of view that we don't have yet. So even if it seems mindless, sharing, in my opinion and in my understanding, is the way that we grow this consciousness, is to not only have my own point of view, but to have all of your guys' points of views too. That's why I always say, you know, please share your story, Michael. Please share your story. You know, that will raise our awareness, because we only have our own points of view. God has all of ours, and one day we will have them all. But until we are back to our original state of being, which is God, we only have our own points of view other than people sharing. Sunny, there is a book that I read about meditating that really helped me, because I have a racing mind. So it's so hard to quiet my mind. But so the way she explained it is, you know, just start out. So first of all, I listened to the solfeggio frequencies first, because those tones and frequencies open up more of your brain. So you hear these tones, they physically change and alter your body and your DNA and your mind and your experience. So I start out by listening to those with headphones, and then I sit down and I close my eyes. I told you guys I was going to do a meditation with you. I forgot. We'll do that later. I close my eyes and I picture that I'm turning the dial of all the sound and all the chaos down to silent. So the volume down. And then I have a receiver and I turn that up. And I actually imagine that. And it took me a lot of time, so don't get discouraged. You know, every book says, you know, your mind's going to wander, just go back to it, it's fine. Dude, my mind wanders. But one day, everything went black and quiet. And I was in this theta state where your body's asleep, but you're conscious still. You need to get this book, sweetie. But one day, after trying so hard, it happened, and I heard things. I started hearing messages. And I know to a lot of people that sounds crazy, but it's not. It's very real. There is so much more to us than we have any idea. So much more. We are very powerful beings. We are very conscious beings right now. Sometimes we're not. Sometimes we are. Right now we are. And we need to share that. We need to share that. Because we need to tear down this power and greed and money and this system that is not working. It is not working. I don't even want to raise my daughter in a world like this, you know? She's 7 years old and she's manifesting. She's amazing. So this one is Project 369, The Key to the Universe, Evolved Consciousness. Michael, if you're in here, can you type that in for me? Project 369, The Key to the Universe, Evolved Consciousness. And then I have another book called Spirited, and that one is really good. That's the one that taught about turning your dial down and turning your dial up. And that's the one that actually got me hearing messages and being able to meditate. This one got me to be able to get into the theta state where my body's asleep but I'm still conscious. That's where all of your creation comes from. Like I keep a notepad by my bed now because when I get into that theta state of meditation, ideas and thoughts and understanding comes to me. And yes, thank you, Michael. That is the book. And then let me grab the other one. So the other one is Spirited, and it is by Rebecca Rosen. And this one is more on channeling, because I've just been working on my abilities. And my daughter just passed away 4 months ago, and I wanted to see if I could channel her. We all have this ability. Some of us have it more than others. Mine came quick. I channeled my daughter, and I got really scared, actually. But, you know, these two books are literally what changed my life. I mean, I am Missy. I have lost 3 children. I have buried 3 children. I was abused by a psychopath for 7 years. He killed 2 of my children. I have borderline personality disorder. This helped me overcome that, which 50% of physicians won't even take on people with borderline. It's that fucked. I don't have borderline right now because I am the creator. I am the creator. I do not believe that I have borderline, so I don't. And my symptoms are not there anymore. So, it's pretty fucking incredible. And those frequencies that I talk about, the solfeggio frequencies, there's different frequencies. Some of them heal your physical body. Some of them heal your mental health. Some of them heal, like, align your chakras. These frequencies are what started all of this for me. All of it. I started seeing things on YouTube about different frequencies and what they do. And that our bodies are everything. Everything in this world. Everything is a vibration. So why wouldn't different frequencies and vibrations change and alter us? They do. That was also taken from us. The man who discovered that, the government seized his machine that did all these different frequencies to heal cancer, to heal all these things. They seized it and no one ever found it again. But his grandson popped up and made an app with all of these frequencies. And I believe, truthfully, that my listening to those every day, I could feel like buzzing and tingling, like it was changing my DNA. I'm very ill. I have liver disease. I won't even go into all the things. They the frequencies, whatever ones you choose to listen to, they all do different things. It is no joke. It is no joke. Solfeggio frequencies. So that started it. Then I read this. Then I read this. And I know I have a long way to go and a lot of understanding to have. I understand it. What I'm struggling with is portraying it or expressing it in the right way. Yes, tapping and EMDR. So yes, you're right. You're exactly right, Kyla. Tapping is I did a tapping class once, and it is very powerful as well. It is also very powerful. It's a rhythm, like a beat, and tapping. Very, 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 very good. You guys are really following me, and I'm really excited. EMDR is also something I have not personally experienced, but I've had clients that have experienced it and experienced it very well. That is very helpful for trauma. Very, very. And these frequencies are the same. And if you can't get out to do that or whatever, all you got to do is get on your phone, put on your app, put on your headphones and listen, and the healing begins and the mind opening begins. You can hear it. It's so beautiful. They're so beautiful. Sunny, we're like best friends. I say that so much. All I want to do is learn. It's my favorite thing to do. Yes. So on my YouTube channel, I think I just put the app on there for you guys. I think it's on. I think I did. It shows you what the icon looks like and everything, and there's all different frequencies, and you can listen to them with music or just the tone or tone. You can do it so many different ways, and it still is the same outcome. It's just your preference. I like the tone because it like vibrates my ears, and it makes me feel like it's actually changing and fixing things. One thing it did for me, if you're new here, I have had my YouTube channel is the same. It's Felonies and Poppy Seeds. Felonies and Poppy Seeds. All one word. If you separate it, something else will come up. It's all one word. I'm over on the West Coast. Felonies and Poppy Seeds. If you put felonies / poppy seeds, it brings up something else. So you have to remember it all together. And you'll see my face. I mean, I just started it. It's brand new. I have like 10 or 13 posts on there. And yeah, so, and I'm talking about a lot of different things on there. So anyways, yeah, felonies and poppy seeds. And, I'm so glad you guys are receiving this. This is really, it's helping me because my personal spiritual purpose has been to share my truth. Even before I learned all this, because of burying 3 children and going through all the trauma that I've lived through, I had such a strong desire to share all of that with people so they know they weren't alone in the hell they were living in, because I lived in it alone, and 2 children died. 3 now because of it. So that's always been my purpose, but now it's my purpose organized because I'm being guided, because I'm open. And I've been writing a book for 10 fucking years, and now I know I can get it done because I'm not doing it alone. I have help because I'm open. I have spirit guides. These books, Solfeggio Frequencies. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. traveling is really the only thing that I want to do, like for me, you know. I want to travel and go everywhere. I've been to Japan, I've been to Korea, I have been not very many other places, and I want to go everywhere. I want to see this whole creation, and I want to share my story. That's my spiritual purpose. So okay, so now we're kind of at the point to where it's talking about the journaling. So I think I'll leave it at that. Oh, Sunny, that would be a dream come true for me. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I was packing my car up and getting ready to just drive and end up somewhere when I found out I was pregnant with my 7-year-old. And so it didn't happen, but that's okay. You know, things happen for a reason. My little girl came into my life for a reason, because if she wasn't here, I wouldn't be here. After burying my 4th child just 4 months ago, I was done. I was so done. But I couldn't continue the generational trauma and leave her. I couldn't have her lose a sister and watch her mom kill herself. So I'm thankful she came, you know. Okay, Sunny, it's super nice to meet you too. And I'm going to get off here anyways. But yeah, check out my YouTube channel. It's Felonies and Poppy Seeds. One word. Felonies and Poppy Seeds. I would love the support because, like I said, I'm just growing on there. And I think when I get, you know, more followers and more viewers, I think I'll find more words, you know, by then. Because I'm going to continue to learn and continue to grow and study. So I want to have a little bit of time to have my words come out better on my channel. So, thank you, Kyla. Thank you. Michael, I love you so much too. My next story on my YouTube channel, I keep saying I'm going in order, but then these things that I have to. But my next story is about my 7-year-old. Not only was she a miracle baby, but she remembered her past lives until she was 5, and it was intense as fuck. She remembered and knew my daughter that died 10 years before she was born. So that's going to be my next story on my YouTube channel. And this is also going on my YouTube channel. So everything I do on here goes on there. So have a good night. And Michael, thank you for being on here and helping me out. And just seeing your name helps me because you're my person, you know. And I appreciate you. And it was super nice, Sunny and Kyla and everybody. Thank you for listening. And it helps me, you know, like this is my journey, this is my purpose, and when I have people that encourage me, it makes me go stronger. So I appreciate you all, and I will talk to you, Michael, soon, I'm sure. And tomorrow's at school. We had a 3-day weekend, so we're going to bed a little early tonight, but I'm sure I'll talk to you tomorrow. I love you. And yeah, thank you guys for checking out my YouTube channel, and give me a little bit of grace. Like I said, I'm new on YouTube. I've been on TikTok for a long time, but YouTube's a little bit more, I don't know, vulnerable, it feels like. But anyways, I love you all, and remember, I am, you are, I am. I'm looking at a reflection of myself when I'm looking at you. And you're looking at a reflection of yourself when you're looking at me. So we need to share our experiences so we can live different points of views. All right, you guys. Have a good night. And thank you so much.